Two people, both working full-time, combined income of $133,000 a year, top 25% of all American households. Last month, their car broke down. They put the repair on a credit card because they did not have the cash. They did everything right. The degrees, the careers, the house in the good school district, every step of the plan society gave them followed perfectly. So why does a six-figure household feel completely broke? Because they walked into the most expensive trap in modern personal finance, and it was designed specifically for people who do everything right. A Harvard professor once studied over 2,000 families who had filed for bankruptcy. What she found was genuinely shocking. Families with two working parents were actually more likely to go bankrupt than single-income families. Working twice as hard, 2 paychecks every month, doing everything the economy told them to do, and ending up more financially vulnerable, not less. She called it the two-income trap. It is not a personal failure, it is a structural one, and most people are standing right in the middle of it without realizing it. In 1970, the typical middle-class family had one earner, and that single income was genuinely enough, not barely enough, actually enough. A median-income family could afford a home, health care, a car, food, savings, and a family vacation. They had real breathing room. More importantly, they had a backup plan. If the primary earner lost their job or got sick, the stay-at-home partner could enter the workforce. That second potential income sat in reserve like an insurance policy, available when needed. Today, over 60% of married couples with children have both partners working full-time. We took that emergency backup plan and made it the permanent default. The safety net became the floor, and now there is nothing left underneath. While we were deploying that second income, costs exploded. Median home prices doubled relative to inflation since 1970. Healthcare spending per household is up over 600%. Childcare, which barely existed as a major expense when someone was home, now costs the average family over $11,000 per year per child. In expensive cities, that reaches $30,000. We earn more than our parents did, but the fixed costs of middle-class life grew so fast that every single dollar of that second income got completely absorbed. Both incomes are now fully committed just to maintain the baseline. Nothing left over, no margin, no reserve. Here's exactly where the money goes. This is the part that changes everything. One partner earns $70,000, the other earns $50,000. Combined, $120,000. Feels like a lot. Watch what actually happens to that $50,000 second income. Taxes. Because of how progressive brackets work, the second income gets taxed at higher marginal rates. After federal, state, and payroll taxes, $50,000 becomes roughly $32,000 in real take-home. Child care. Average daycare costs $15,000 per year per child. One child, and that $50,000 is now worth about $17,000. Two children, and you're already at $2,000 before leaving the house. Commuting. Gas, maintenance, depreciation, parking, approximately $8,000 annually for the second commute. Exhaustion spending. Two exhausted working parents order more food, hire cleaners, pay for convenience constantly. Studies show dual-income families spend $5,000 to $7,000 more per year on these costs than households where one person manages home life. Add it all up. $50,000 gross income, minus taxes, minus childcare, minus commuting, minus exhaustion spending. Net contribution, approximately $2,000 per year. Someone leaves their family every morning, sits in traffic, works a full day, comes home exhausted, and the household nets $2,000 from that entire effort, $8 per working day. Here's the psychological layer that makes it worse. You see 120,000 on the tax return and make every decision based on that number. You buy the house two incomes can qualify for. The bank approves the $400,000 mortgage and tells you can afford it. And technically you can, as long as both incomes flow perfectly forever. As long as neither of you gets sick, laid off, or needs to step back for any reason. That's exactly where the trap closes. The 1970 single-income family always had a backup. If disaster struck, the stay-at-home partner could find work. The margin existed. The modern dual-income family already spent that backup just to cover monthly expenses. Both incomes are fully committed, zero margin for disruption. One job loss, one health crisis, and everything collapses at once. This is why the research found dual-income families going bankrupt at higher rates, not because they were irresponsible, because they were running at 100% capacity with nothing held in reserve. Everything works fine until one thing breaks, and then everything breaks together. If this is making sense, subscribe right now. This is exactly what we cover every single week. There's one more layer that makes escaping almost impossible. When dual-income households became the norm, families suddenly had twice the purchasing power, competing for the same houses near the same good schools. What happens when everyone has more money chasing limited supply? Prices get bid up, way up. Two incomes became the entry requirement for middle-class life, not an advantage within it. The arms race escalated, and nobody won. Median home prices now require two incomes just to buy what one income used to cover 50 years ago. And once locked into that mortgage, you need both incomes forever. There is no going back. One mindset shift changes everything. Treat the second income as temporary, even if it's not. Most couples do the opposite. They treat both incomes as permanent and build every fixed cost around that assumption. House sized for two incomes, cars sized for two incomes, lifestyle sized for two incomes. Then neither partner can ever stop, even when life demands it. The alternative is simple. Build your fixed monthly expenses so they can be covered by one income alone. The second income becomes entirely discretionary. Savings, investments, building real wealth. Household earning $130,000 combined. Buy the house one income can comfortably cover instead of the one the bank approves based on both. One car payment instead of two. Slightly smaller home. Slightly less prestigious neighborhood. The second income now builds wealth instead of just surviving. Emergency fund first, retirement accounts maxed, then investments. Every dollar invested buys back the one thing modern dual-income life traded away: options. The ability to make decisions based on what's right for your family rather than what is required to make next month's payment. Within 5 to 10 years, compounding takes over. The investments generate their own returns, and you finally have what two incomes were supposed to provide from the beginning: genuine financial security. The two-income trap is not about income, it's about margin, about flexibility, about having options when life doesn't go as planned. A previous generation with one income had something we quietly traded away: the ability to absorb a shock without the entire structure collapsing. We traded it for bigger houses and the appearance of prosperity. But appearances are not wealth. Two incomes are not security if both are already spent before they arrive. The families building real wealth aren't the ones earning the most. They're the ones who refuse to let their lifestyle consume everything they earn, who kept something in reserve, who stayed flexible. You can't earn your way out of a trap you don't know you're in. Now you know. Subscribe for more knowledge. Every week we break down how money really works in plain, simple language. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. See you in the next one.